legendary Hollywood director and producer Roger Corman, the man who first brought to the silver screen such actors as Jack Nicholson, Sylvester Stallone, and Robert De Niro, and such directors as Francis Ford Coppola, Martin Scorsese, Ron Howard, proudly presents Roger Corman's Cosmic Comics. For the last 40 years, Roger Corman has had a profound influence on the film industry. In addition to directing 50 feature films and producing more than 250 others, he has been responsible for nurturing more talent than any other individual in the history of filmmaking. In 1970, Corman formed New World Pictures, which quickly became the largest independent motion picture distribution company in the country. He sold New World in 1983 and formed Concord New Horizons, which has since become a leader in the entertainment industry. As part of his ongoing mission to provide the public with hard-hitting entertainment, Roger Corman has formed Cosmic Comics and is committed to bringing top-quality stories and artwork to the comic book world. Cosmic Comics will initially offer stories both adapted from past films and tied into upcoming nationwide releases. Premiering in April 1995 are two titles, Death Race 2020 and Bram Stoker's Burial of the Rats. Death Race 2020 is the comic book sequel to the science fiction classic Death Race 2000, starring Sylvester Stallone and David Carradine. Creating controversy for its graphic violence, the film was nonetheless greeted with wild enthusiasm by critics and film patrons alike. The ongoing comic book series takes up where the motion picture left off. Death Racer Frankenstein has become President Frankenstein, ruling the former United States of America from his mobile headquarters, Road Force 1. Escaping constant assassination attempts and quelling a rebellious populace deprived of the outlawed death race keeps Frankenstein on the move until he is forced by the citizens and his own bloodlust to revive the violent spectacle. Writing Death Race 2020 is the British creative team of Pat Mills and Tony Skinner, and the series artist is Kevin O'Neill. Pat Mills has created comic books of such graphic intensity that they have been banned in England after receiving complaints from members of Parliament. He was one of the creators of the popular comic book character Judge Dredd, who coincidentally will be played by Death Race 2000 star Sylvester Stallone in the upcoming movie adaptation. Tony Skinner has collaborated with Mills on such titles as Sex Warrior, Bratz Bizarre, and Terrorists. They are currently scripting Punisher 2099 for Marvel Comics. Artist Kevin O'Neill co-created Martial Law with Pat Mills, and his work has appeared in Nemesis the Warlock, Metalzoic, Legends of the Dark Knight, and Lobo. Also shipping in April is Bram Stoker's Burial of the Rats, an adaptation of a new film by Concord New Horizons. The first issue of the comic book will be tied in with the release of the film and will be featured in the film's nationwide advertising campaign. The story is a follow-up to Bram Stoker's Gothic masterpiece Dracula and is set in an isolated village in France. It follows the adventures of a feckless young man captured by a band of warrior women. Their leader, the Rat Queen, has an uncanny ability to control the actions of a rat pack who kill at her command. This 3-issue series is written by Jerry Prosser, penciled by Francisco Solano Lopez, and inked by Val Mayerick. Jerry Prosser is the veteran writer of some of Dark Horse Comics' most successful licensed properties, including Aliens and Predator. He is currently the writer for DC's Animal Man, in addition to his work on projects for Valiant and Marvel. Francisco Solano Lopez has enjoyed a long career in comics in South America and Europe. Among his comics appearing in English are Deep City, Young Witches, Freaks, and Boy 77. Inker Val Mayerick has been active in comics for 20 years, beginning with Giant-Size Man-Thing for Marvel. He was the first artist to draw Howard the Duck. Recent Mayerick comics include Bruce Lee for Malibu, The Badger for Dark Horse, Defiance Warriors of Plasm, and stories for Harvey Picar's American Splendor. In May 1995, Cosmic Comics will debut Welcome to the Little Shop of Horrors, a 3-issue adaptation of the 1960 classic directed by Roger Corman himself. Little Shop of Horrors is the story of the misguided efforts of Seymour Krelboyne to impress both his boss and his girlfriend at his job at a florist shop. He succeeds by breeding a bizarre, exotic new houseplant. The only problem comes when the plant develops a voracious appetite for human flesh. The original film was adapted into a long-running off-Broadway play and subsequently remade into a smash musical comedy starring Bill Murray, Steve Martin, and Rick Moranis. The creative team of artists on Welcome to the Little Shop of Horrors includes writer J.R. Williams, with pencils by Gene Fama, inks by Dean Rohrer, and cover art by Killian Plunkett. Williams is responsible for the hilarious comedy Crap, and has contributed to Rip-Off Comics, Best Comics of the Decade, and Real Stuff. Penciler Gene Fama's artwork has appeared in Doom Patrol, Animal Man, Marvel Music's Woodstock, as well as Fantagraphics, Duplex Planet Illustrated, and Real Stuff. Inker Dean Rohrer has had illustrations and comics published by Spy, Details, Spin, The New Yorker, and Harper's, as well as Archie's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and By Bizarre Hands for Dark Horse. July of 1995 will mark the comic book tie-in to the nationwide release of the motion picture Caged Heat 3000. A beautiful inmate in a woman's penitentiary on a distant planet in the year 3000 faces the conniving manipulations of an evil warden, the sadistic assaults of his guards, and the Amazon ferocity of the other inmates. This is erotic science fiction at its very best. Later in 1995, Roger Corman's psychotronic cavalcade of comics continues with an adaptation of The Wasp Woman, Corman's timeless masterpiece.
A woman of fantastic desires, sponsoring a scientist with fantastic theories, and demanding fantastic results.
How old do I look? Tell me. How old?
23.
Welcome to Rock and Roll High School.
Also in 1995, we will bring you a comic book sequel to Rock and Roll High School, featuring appearances by the latest cutting-edge bands.
You have managed to upset the entire school with this godforsaken noise.
Things sure have changed since we got kicked out of high school.
Hey, come on, you guys, follow me into the school.
They tried to stop their music, but the kids got wrecked and rocked the school.
I just talked to the chief of police. He's going to storm the building.
Rock and Roll High School, the school where the students rule.
Science fiction movie buffs and comic fans alike are sure to go wild over the full-color and action-packed adventures of Roger Corman's Cosmic Comics, smashing into a comic book store near you this April.